guys, it's Bro You Whack, and we gotta talk. Because now that we've had some time to live with the fact that come Season 9, both tank and damage heroes will be able to passively self-heal, a lot of people have given their opinion on this, and a lot of people seem to love this change. Okay, maybe love was a stretch. Now, when I first heard about this change coming to Season 9, did I expect people to like this change? Absolutely not. But did I think that they were gonna absolutely despise it? Not really. So in today's video, I want to talk about the community's reaction, and I also want to give my thoughts on the future of Overwatch 2 with this change in mind. Because is this change really going to be the thing that tips Overwatch 2 over the edge? Is this really going to kill Overwatch 2? No. Look, the community's negative reaction to tank and damage heroes being able to passively self-heal in Season 9 is totally valid, but at the same time, people just gotta learn to relax every once in a while when it comes to changes for Overwatch 2. I swear, people want Overwatch 2 to change, to be fixed, but not that way. No, don't change it that way. No, don't fix it that way. And this is probably the only time that I would sympathize with the developers for Overwatch 2, because it seems like they can find no solution to quote-unquote fix Overwatch 2, but it needs to be fixed. But why did this change specifically have such a negative reaction? Well, from my gathering information, it seems like there are two big reasons why. Well, the first and the biggest issue that people have is that it removes the team aspect in a team-based shooter. I mean, that is the foundation of Overwatch 2, whether you like it or not, is that this is a team-based shooter. Tank and damage heroes rely on support players to be able to heal them, and giving them a passive role that, in a sense, heals them, removes that team aspect. And you see, that was what confused me at first, seeing the people's reaction, is that, okay, yes, I understand Overwatch is a team-based game, but so many, especially tank and damage players, complain about their trash support players not healing them. So here you have a passive ability that doesn't fully heal you, obviously, especially with my given example. I said beforehand that the passive healing ability that tank and damage heroes is not going to be the same level as support heroes, all right? It's probably going to be, after 5 seconds not receiving damage, you're probably going to receive maybe 5 heals per second, and that's not really a lot. So it's not like you're going to be removing support players from your game and their usefulness, because no, they can heal way faster than your passive self-heal, but also health packs. But then that brings up the second issue that I kind of didn't realize, I kind of brought up in my last video, was the fact that, okay, now flank damage heroes now have an ability to just passively self-heal and camp your back line and attack the support back line. And even though that already happens, with this change, it would happen way more often, because well, that is just all you gotta do. You get shot by the Ana one time, you camp the enemy back line behind cover, you wait to get healed, and then you go and focus the Ana some more. But I think a lot of people are just overestimating just how much heal a Tracer or a Genji would get whenever they're getting in a 1v1 with Ana or Zenyatta, because really all it takes for you to stop their passive self-healing from self-healing them is shooting them. So it's not like during that whole 1v1 fight that they're constantly gonna be self-healing, because no, that's not even how the support passive works. So those are like the two biggest issues that I saw primarily from like tank and damage heroes, but the primary issue that support players have with this is the exact issue that I knew was gonna happen, was thinking that, okay, well, I feel like I become a little more useless, because what's my job on the field? If there are health packs and if there's a passive heal ability for tank and damage heroes, what am I supposed to do? And that's why I kind of gave the example the other day with what this passive might look like to alleviate any sort of anxiety of support players thinking that they were going to be useless. Because if you're worried that a passive heal ability is going to make you obsolete, I feel like you're looking at this totally wrong and thinking that that passive is going to be way more powerful than it really was. Because at that point, well, shouldn't you have to worry about health packs? Because that heals way faster and instantaneous, but we don't think that way. Mainly because we've had health packs ever since day one, but also at the same time, we've just learned to adopt health packs in our way of play, and we just rely on both of them, but also mainly rely on support players. But even then, the people will say, well, it doesn't matter how the passive healing works, because the main issue here is that this is a team-based game. One hero shouldn't be able to do the jobs of all the other heroes. We should all be able to come together as a well-oiled machine and win together as a unit. And that sentiment would be great if, man, the community just didn't contradict itself. Because yes, I would love that too. I would love if every single game, all 5 people were in game chat working together, playing their best hero, playing what needed to be played, and being able to come together as a well-oiled machine and defeat the enemy. But that just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. happen? And that's why at first I knew people weren't gonna love this change, but I didn't think people were gonna despise this change because it's not like the Overwatch community is gung-ho with teamwork. No, they're staying in their own Discord calls. They're not leaving their Xbox Live party or their PlayStation party, or they just don't even have a mic and they're not communicating and talking. But I just bring that up because that's why I was confused by the reaction. I'm not arguing with the reaction because, to be honest, I think the reaction is kind of warranted, especially if a majority, most of the Overwatch community does not like the change. Now, is it because it's a bad change? Well, I will say we haven't even seen all the changes in full detail, and maybe now Blizzard won't ever really reveal what they're talking about doing. Now they're just gonna keep it to themselves and just implemented it. No matter what, here's the solution to all this, because we know that this is probably gonna be added in Season 9. We just have to live with the fact. What if Blizzard decided to take the idea of what Chef Frank suggested on Twitter and just adding this to Quick Play to see if we even like this change? You see, what was so great about Overwatch in 2020 was that they experimented with a lot of things to see if we liked it, but mainly to have fun with it. But some of the changes actually got added into the game, like Zenyatta's kick. That was an experiment that got permanently added into the game. So what if we were to take a weekend, like recently with Quick Play Hacked, and added the passive self-heal to the tank and damage heroes in Quick Play to see if that is really the downfall of Overwatch, if we really hate it? Because, to be honest, we only have what Aaron Keller said in his blog post. We don't have any of the numbers, we don't know how it's gonna work, when it's gonna be activated, but if they add it in the game as a temporary test and we try it, and it turns out we actually love it, then there we go. You fix the game without scaring us with change. I think that's just what Blizzard has to do from here on out if they're gonna make big changes. Like, this is a big change. This is changing how two major roles function in the game, and it functions similar to another role. And I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do this, because they did this exact thing with Mauga. They released him after BlizzCon to test out in Quick Play only, and they got a lot of good feedback with him. It didn't work because he became super overpowered, but at the same time, they made a good hero. And say what you want about the balance when it comes to new heroes, but we should strive for good heroes, not trash heroes like with Lifeweaver when he first came out. Look, I appreciate Blizzard and, more importantly, Aaron Keller communicating what they're planning on doing, even though they might not do it anymore. But the thing is, though, when it comes to big changes, you can't be surprised when our reaction is going to be negative, because I'll be honest, that's just kind of what the Overwatch is conditioned to do. Any change is going to be negative because we want to go back to 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, when the game was quote-unquote playable. And these changes is going far away from that old age of Overwatch and into this new age of self-sufficient heroes. And it seems like people don't want that. So try it out. Test it out like what you did with Quick Play Hacked. I mean, people didn't like Quick Play Hacked, but at least they experimented with it. And with these kind of changes, yeah, you spend a lot of time making these changes, but if they're bad changes, you don't want to keep them permanently just because you spend a lot of time making them. Let us experiment with it, because if it turns out to be the greatest change of all time, then awesome. None of that time was wasted. But if it turns out to be the worst change of all time, good. You avoid making a terrible video game, and that is what Blizzard's goal should be, is to make a good video game, not a terrible one. Anyway, until they decide to experiment with these kind of changes, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about these changes. I mean, I already know what you think, so we'll see how it goes in Season 9. But I love you guys, and bye.